and welcome to another edition of the Choose Violence podcast, a podcast for feminine rage. I'm your host, Ishpal, and I'm fucking furious. Donald Trump's new boyfriend, aka Elania, aka the First Lady, aka President Musk, has just forced a government fucking shutdown right before the holidays that will likely extend until Donald Trump takes office. And if you can't tell, I'm about to scream. Not only did none of us elect this stupid fucking bastard into office, not only do none of us like this alien-looking motherfucker with the weirdest little ET body I've ever seen, which, by the way, if you haven't Googled what Elon Musk looks like without a shirt off, it will make you feel a lot better. I highly suggest you doing it. But it is so fucking clear what a little bitch boy Donald Trump is for Elon Musk. It is crazy. Homeboy even changed his haircut. The haircut that Donald Trump has had since I was born. Elon Musk suggests he changed it, and it is the douchiest, ugliest, most ridiculous, hilarious looking thing in the entire world. And Elon Musk is clearly showing the world what a bitch Donald Trump is for Elon Musk. It's giving Zarina Alexandra and Rasputin. If you've seen the Lazar, know anything about Russian history, which, by the way, did you guys know that the fall of the Romanov Empire, aka the Disney movie Anastasia that we all loved growing up, did you know that happened like truly 5 seconds ago? Like they were in charge at the start of World War I. Why did I think that family, that whole Anastasia story happened in like 1624? The American education system has truly failed me because with every passing day, I realize I know fucking nothing, which I'm sure is by design, but that is neither here nor there. I'm just watching The Last Tsar right now, and me and my friend Amanda are like looking at the parallels between our country right now and the fall of the Romanov dynasty, and wow, are the similarities striking. But I digress. Like, we all know that Donald Trump has been Melania's sub for years. That's the only way that relationship makes sense, is that she is his dom, he is the sub, he pays her to have sex with him, he had to pay her to move into the White House, okay? That bitch wants nothing to do with him and has been openly having other relationships for years, if you know where to look, okay? And it seems like there's a new dom in town, and his name is Elania Musk. Elania, we were originally joking that she was the First Lady, which hilariously, Elon Musk did tweet or post on X, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I will call it Twitter until the day I die because that man does not reserve our respect in any way, shape, or form whatsoever. But he tweeted out that he would be banning anyone on X, TikTok, Twitter. Fuck. He said he would be banning anyone who posted on Twitter about him being the First Lady, which is hilarious coming from a guy who bought a platform and destroyed it in the name of free speech. But anyways, he's gone from being the First Lady to now the self-appointed President of the United States. So here's what happened. Periodically, Congress has to pass a budget bill in order to keep the government funded and operating, right? So they had drafted this bipartisan bill that actually had a lot of good stuff in it, like make transparency about junk fees, like with the whole Ticketmaster scandal, $190 million for cancer research, putting restrictions on price gouging for prescription medications. Good stuff. Bipartisan bill, drafted predominantly by Republicans, pushed by Republicans. Everyone signed on, agreed. And then at the last minute, Elania sent a tweet out saying that they shouldn't approve it, and that instead they should force a government shutdown from now until the beginning of Trump's presidency. And then several hours later, Donald Trump seconded what his daddy told him to say after he gave him a nice little butt fuck. He was like, okay, daddy, I'll do exactly what you want. Will you call me a good boy now? And then he posted on Truth Social or whatever the fuck why do all these men have their own version of Twitter? Can't you see nobody wants you to be part of the club? So why do you keep buying and stealing stuff from other people? If two men both need to have their own version of Twitter, and then the cool kids went and made our own because we were like, fuck both of you, don't they realize that they're fucking losers and they should just give up and throw in the towel? No one wants you. No one wants you here. No one likes you. Go the fuck home. Go home with your hundreds of billions of dollars, okay? How are you not happy yet? You have all the money. You have all the money. Oh, wait, you have no love in your life because you fucking suck. Oh, wait, all of your ex-wives and baby mamas and children fucking hate you because you suck, so your life is empty other than the approval of your dickhead parents, maybe sort of. We'll get into Elon Musk's mom in a second because she's a psycho. But because your life is sad and empty and the only value you have in your life, the only thing that brings you close to joy is pissing contests on other people, and the number on your bank account, it's not even their bank account, it's their net worth, which is a fake fucking number, but they just need the number to be big so they feel worth something, and they do that little egotistical temper tantrum pissing match at the expense of the American people, if not the entire planet. No one fucking likes you. But anyways, so Donald Trump posted on Truth Social saying that, yes, he was seconding what his daddy Musk was telling him. His big, strong Dom Daddy, who has the body of an alien and the face of a reptile, doubled down on what he told him and basically said that Congress needed to vote down this bill that everyone had already agreed on and force a government shutdown until he took office. Oh, and here's the real kicker. Elon said that if you don't do what I say, even though I am not a member of this government, was never elected by anybody, and frankly, most people fucking hate me, and the only reason my net worth is going up is because people think I'm going to take advantage of my position within the government to get more government contracts and evade responsibility for all of the pending lawsuits against me, and people are just looting America. He basically said, if you guys don't listen to me, I'm going to have you all primaried. I will fund your opponent in the next election against you. And that is the threat he used, bribery, to force the government into shutdown. And then last night, Elon jumped in with Congress and helped them negotiate a way fucking shittier bill that eliminated all that stuff I talked about earlier, including $190 million for childhood cancer research, because he felt that was unnecessary government spending. But all of his failed SpaceX launches, those are all government contracts that should stick around. Fucking exploration of Mars, that's essential government spending, even though they've shown there's enough radiation on Mars that it would kill us all in 5 years. He sat in with them all night and negotiated, again, even though he is not a member of Congress, negotiated the new budget bill, and it was the most fucked up, stupid thing you've ever seen in your life. And so not only did all the Democrats vote it down, but 24 Republicans were also like, we're not going to fucking do this, which was a great stand. However, it does mean the government is likely to shut down. Now, what does that mean? Well, it's bad for all of us. I will let you know that right now, right up top. It's really shitty and horrible and fucking sucks for all of us. It sucks for all of us. So what does that mean? It doesn't mean the government shuts down as in everyone stops working. It means the government isn't funded. The government can spend no money because they don't have a budget, which, unlike me, who even when I don't have a budget, or despite what my budget is, I still spend all of the money, the government is not allowed to. Its hands are tied, right? So what that means is tens of thousands of federal government employees are all about to be furloughed. That includes the people who process Social Security checks. That includes the people who process like any sort of government support, like people who need food stamps, likely not getting those unless they're state funded. People who need any sort of Medicare, Social Security checks, any of that, they're likely not getting it until this budget can get passed. And whoever is deemed to be an essential government employee will continue to work without pay. That includes our military. That includes TSA agents. So what does that mean? It means holiday traveling is going to be a fucking nightmare because all the TSA agents who are working from now through New Year's Eve are all going to be unpaid. And if you haven't been to an airport lately, I'm going to let you know something. TSA fucking hates their job. Now, luckily, they don't do any sort of real job. Like, as my friend Amanda likes to say, they do security theater and just confiscate a lot of vapes, pretty much. However, the lines are going to be crazy fucking long while you're traveling. So get out there early. Get to the airport like 2.5 hours early because everywhere will be understaffed. Because obviously, if people aren't getting paid, they're calling out sick from work. Which honestly, at this point, I'm like, all TSA should just strike. All of them. Don't work unpaid. Fuck that. I'm so sorry if that means people can't get home for the holidays. That really sucks, but we got to take one for the team. I think all of TSA should strike. And I think that they should just shut down all the airports and watch how quickly that cripples our economy. Watch how quickly that cripples our economy. Watch how quickly that cripples our economy. Because I would absolutely love that. Because, like, fuck these guys. Truly, fuck these guys. And sometimes you have to suffer in the name of revolution. And why are they doing this? Because they can. Because they can. Trump, scratch that. Elania is trying to show the amount of power he has to everyone and normalize his decision-making and get us all nice and used to it so that when they proceed to do even crazier shit once President Elon is in office, he will proceed to do crazier and crazier shit. Because Mark my words, this is just the beginning. They are warming us up for whatever about insane oligarchical fuck shit is about to happen. So what he's doing right now is called normalization, which is the fourth pillar of fascism, or installing a fascist government where they do crazier and crazier shit and just warm everyone up to it so it seems nice and normal when it's actually fucking insane. Think frog in the pot of boiling water, right? Like you put a frog in a pot of boiling water, it's going to jump right out. Like if they just enacted martial law and were like, we're taking over tomorrow, everyone would roll. But if you put a frog in a pot of room temperature water and slowly raise the heat, it will boil itself alive. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to do subtly crazier and crazier shit. It started years ago. But really, if you look at like the Trump cabinet appointments, right? Trying to make crazy shit like Linda McMahon being Secretary of Education seem normal, and then stuff gets progressively crazier. So you look backwards and you're like, that actually wasn't that crazy because this is way crazier. And then things proceed to get crazier and crazier, and then you get numb and you stop noticing what's going on. So that is what they are trying to do. And I think it is also just an early flex for Elon to show everyone subtly like, oh, Donald Trump is my bitch boy. He is my bitch boy. Did you see his new haircut that I also did at the same time? He is my little bitch. I do make him wear a collar and a leash, and I do whip him while he wears a butt plug and a ball gag. Can somebody make that a political cartoon? That would be really funny. So the other conspiracy theory is, which again, at this point, I do not think is a conspiracy theory, is that Donald Trump, when he was still in office, put in all of this legislation to pretty much prepare for a situation where he needed to claim election fraud, which essentially said that 45 days after the election, the results have to be like verified, certified. They have to go through approval from different heads of state, Secretary of Treasury, whatever, to double, quadruple check all of these things to ensure that the election was valid, essentially. And so likely that process is going on right now. And as we all agree over on this side of the internet, there was some serious fuck shit going on in the election. And this does explain why people may have been quiet behind the scenes, because they were conducting this investigation that is now federally required, and which Joe Biden did like double down saying that they would be acting on. So the theory is that Elon would want to defund the government. Funny that we'll defund the government, but not the police. I digress. So Elon might want to shut down the government and give them no funding, because if the government can't spend money, the government can't continue this investigation, which does explain why they would want it to continue until Trump's inauguration. Because if they try to conduct the investigation after Trump's in office, they'll just squash it, right? So there is a theory that they are trying to shut down the government to avoid this investigation being carried out, because if it were to be carried out, certainly there's a chance that they're going to uncover that there was a lot of election fraud and Donald Trump is not actually president. But it's a maybe. Certainly a possibility, but it's a maybe. But what they will certainly find is tons of illegal election interference by good old Elania. Because stuff he did in the open, like offering to pay people for votes, is super on its face illegal. And if they catch him, he will get in trouble. Now, does it matter? Unclear. Because even if, let's say, he did get caught doing all this stuff, if Donald Trump is still chosen to be the president, then he would just pardon Elon for everything and shut down any investigations against him. However, if there's a real chance that they're going to uncover that Kamala is actually supposed to be the president, that's some big trouble for Elon. So that's a theory. But either way, the democracy that we've grown to love and adore, or at least tolerate since we were kids, is rapidly on the decline, and we are experiencing the rise of an oligarchy. Now, what is an oligarchy? Probably a word you've heard a lot lately and are probably like, hey, Ishpaul, my public school education failed me. I know nothing. Totally valid, not your fault. Totally valid, not your fault. An oligarchy is essentially a form of government where you're not ruled by the people or through representatives or any form of democracy. It's essentially a small group of aristocrats, just really fucking rich people, are in charge of everything, have all the power, all the money, all the everything. And basically the power is going to be concentrated amongst this small group of billionaires at the top who are just going to use the government to make themselves richer and richer and richer and richer at the expense of all of us. Think French before the French Revolution. Think the Romanovs in Russia. Think Marie Antoinette right before the French Revolution. You know, just power concentrated in the extremely wealthy, which I think anyone with a heartbeat can pretty readily see is happening in the United States right now. To the point where even Congress is coming out giving speeches saying like, hey, they're trying to destroy our government. What are we going to do about it? And you know, if Congress is actually saying something, shit is getting bad. However, let's talk about some positive news, which will then descend into more negative news. My husband Luigi is still really hot. They just released a picture of him being transported somewhere, who cares, in New York City by a huge crowd of the NYPD. And he has a very fresh haircut, and he looks super hot and just stone-faced and sexy, and I'm obsessed with him. And if anyone knows how I can write him letters in prison, please let me know. I call dibs. I call dibs. I call dibs. But basically, they're trying to make it look like they're really cracking down on him. And that nobody else should do this. But what they did is basically make him look like a national hero, because while Charles Manson was escorted by 3 police officers, they gave about 50 to Luigi. And oh my God, he looks so hot, you guys. Oh my God, he looks so... I will, if I can figure out how to do it in editing, which who's to say, I will insert a picture of him because he looks so good. Oh my God, he looks so hot. And there's this really fun theory on the internet that like he has a very fresh haircut. As we all know, there's been a lot of debate over his eyebrows and whether or not he has a unibrow and getting his eyebrows threaded. His eyebrows, fresh. His haircut, crisp, clean. Okay? Which is a sign that he's being very well taken care of in prison, which is sort of a good way for all of the inmates who, in this very high security facility, aka people have done a lot of bad shit, probably in there for life, don't really care about behaving and could cause a prison riot at any time if they wanted to. It's basically signaling to all the correctional officers and the police outside, like, hey, don't fuck with Luigi because he's not isolated. He's not alone. He's got a posse. He's well taken care of. He is protected. So if you like beat on Luigi too hard, we will start a prison riot and we will make your lives hell. It is a subtle way of communicating with the government and with law enforcement of like, hey, Luigi's our guy. We have his back. Do not touch him or we will fuck you. I didn't mean to say fuck you. I meant to say fuck you up. But you know what? I hope they butt fuck all of them. I do. I really do. So not only does it make me happy because he looks like a national hero and the pictures are so badass and I absolutely want a poster of them. If somebody wants to send them to me, I would really appreciate it. But it also shows that he's well taken care of in prison and he looks so hot. And I think my new goal in life is to become his pen pal and marry him. Again, I call dibs. I call dibs. I call dibs, okay? If any of you guys betray me, I will be very upset, okay? But if you can let me know how I can write to him in prison, I would absolutely love to do that. I'm like sweating. He's so hot. Oh my God. I also do love that he's so hot because I don't think, because like Luigi really like woke up some class consciousness in this country, really banded us together, are really making us all say fuck CEOs, let us start the revolution. And I don't think it would have been as powerful if he was an uggo. Like if he was overweight and pimply with like a fucked up hairline and ugly creepy glasses, like pedo glasses, and just like poorly dressed and stuff, I don't think it would have had the same impact than like this literal sex symbol who is going to be the face of our uprising. And I'm really grateful to that. I'm really grateful to God for that because I do think it's the best thing for our country and it gives me something to live for because my heart is going a flutter. It truly a pitter patter. I have butterflies. I love him. He's smart. He is clever. He's creative. He's sexy as fuck. Okay, we're going to move on now. I love him. Oh, but here's what makes me so mad. I'm so in love with him that I completely forgot why I'm so angry on his behalf. I was so happy that he's well taken care of and so relieved for his well-being. Oh my God, he looks so hot. I'm like so distracted. I might need to like take a second. He looks so good, you guys. Hopefully there's a picture of him somewhere on the screen right now because he looks so good. No, Ishmael, this is going to be on the internet forever. You cannot pretend like this is Luigi's dick, okay? You can't do that. You can't do that. You won't do it. Intrusive thoughts won't win today. Okay. However, you might have heard that they are charging Luigi with terrorism. Yup, they are charging my husband with terrorism. Which is another sign that we belong together because people often charge Indian people with terrorism wrongfully as well. So we have like a shared struggle, you know, like people often beat us up after a terrorist attack because they think Sikh people, because we wear turbans, are Muslim, which you shouldn't beat up Muslim people in the first place because they are not responsible for that terrorist attack. But like, so we suffer wrongly for terrorism just as Luigi is. So like, I think that we really would connect on that level. Okay, let me get into the actual news. Okay, so I love him. Luigi, if you're watching this, you have a friend on the outside who is a lawyer who is not working right now and will do whatever it takes to get you out, except he has a very good lawyer. He definitely doesn't need my help. Anyways, so obviously Luigi killed a guy. right? And he has now been charged in New York with first-degree murder. In most states, first-degree murder is just premeditated murder. New York is a little weird. So first-degree murder is like murder plus something. Usually murdering a specific type of person, like a police officer or like a judge or somebody in political office, or felony murder. Felony murder is when a murder occurs in the process of committing a felony. In this case, drum roll please, the felony that they are charging him with is terrorism. Terrorism. People have indeed in the news been comparing him to Osama bin Laden. What? Really? Really? Okay. Right. All of the school shooters, the hundreds of school shooters across the United States for the last 10 years, not a single one of them have been charged with terrorism. But my husband Luigi kills one guy who fucking deserved it. And they are charging him with terrorism because they say he is inflicting fear on the American people in order to effect governmental change. Which, first of all, no Americans are afraid of him. CEOs are afraid of him, and they are not real people. They don't have souls, so they don't count. The American people are largely emboldened and excited and proud of him. But like a couple CEOs are upset. So they're saying, I'm terrified. This is terrorism, which unfortunately, Michael Scott, that's not how that works. Did see a great TikTok of a girl doing a voiceover with that Michael Scott clip from The Office where he's like, this is a hate crime. And they're like, that's not what a hate crime is, Michael. And he's like, well, I hated it. But like with the CEOs being terrified, it was pretty funny. So they said he's scaring CEOs to get the government to change their policy. So he is a terrorist, which is crazy. And it's also like, okay, one, why do you not care about the gazillions of people who get killed all the time? Like literally police sanctioned violence is terrorism. Like you're killing Black people and minorities and poor people to show everyone else that they shouldn't act up or ever speak back to the police. Like that's, you're killing people to terrify them into a certain line of behavior. So don't speak out of both sides of your mouth, government. Oh, wait, sorry. It's the only way you know how to talk. But it's also like, bitch, what do you think our Second Amendment right is for? It's literally the right to bear arms, to have a militia, to fight back against a tyrannical government, which is rapidly what we're headed towards. But now they are saying that this is terrorism, which is so funny because so many Republicans are like, Second Amendment right, gun, yeah, we love the police. And now the police are taking away the core of their Second Amendment right, which is crazy. And now all of Democrats are like, wait, Second Amendment, we need it. I'm like, do I need to go buy a gun? Should I start going to the gun range? All that stuff's expensive. Do you guys want to start a GoFundMe for me to go become a sniper? Let me know. Let me know. Willing to put in the time and effort so I can support my husband, Luigi. But essentially, this creates a really terrible precedent of like this revolution that was about to happen of just everyone fucking killing the shit out of CEOs. Now, all of those will be marked as acts of domestic terrorism if this case goes through. Obviously, in order for the precedent to be established legally, the government has to win the case and then all of the resulting appeals that will inevitably happen. But then it could become actual legal precedent, and any sort of revolutionary killing like this will be treated like terrorism. But also just intellectually and socially, it creates a terrible precedent, even if it's not a legal precedent, of like they are normalizing this behavior of the government severely, disproportionately punishing acts that threaten their status and power. On that note, the NYPD is also now setting up a special 911 equivalent hotline for CEOs who feel unsafe. So all of the 911 calls that go unanswered by New York citizens, irrelevant. We don't need to create a second hotline for them. But if you are a CEO, they will take your calls more seriously and prioritize them to make you feel safe because they live inside of your pockets. So yes, that is a new thing, a special 911 hotline just for CEOs who feel scared. Who feel scared that sexy little 26-year-old boys who are really smart and ripped are going to come shoot you in your sleep. Meanwhile, like the rate of solving murders in New York City are like zero. But we must protect the CEOs. This is what I mean again when I say oligarchy, like the fact that they are only protecting and defending the rich, the ultra rich. The fact that the power, the important ones, the ones we need to protect are the ultra rich, not just at the Trump Elon level with Elon running our government, even though he's literally not elected, but also just with the CEOs' lives being so much more valuable than all of ours, and them being able to rally the police force to protect them because everyone lives in their pockets, oligarchy. Okay? Okay. Now, another little bit of positive news, because we got to mix it up. We got to stay balanced so we don't lose our fucking minds. Oh my God, you guys, when I was putting together notes to today's episode, because I feel like the last couple episodes since the aliens, I kind of lost the plot, and these have just been like silly and dumb, and I like forgot that there's so much to be angry about, because like my head was just like in another world. Also, I was like working on a really difficult assignment for my recovery program that was like a lot of homework, and I was avoiding it. So I was like a little cuckoo and on the fun side of the internet instead of the factual side of the internet. So we are going to like bring back the feminine rage now with still some silliness. But anyways, just had to make that disclaimer because I felt really weird about it. Like after episode 6, I was editing it and I was like, wait, there's so many horrible things happening right now. Why am I talking about a bad date that I went on? That seems stupid. So please forgive me. Please forgive me. Let's get back to the plot. But oh my God, like when I was researching the news to like figure out what to talk about in this episode, oh my God, the notes list is so long. So we gotta keep it balanced. We gotta talk about the stuff that makes us angry, and we also gotta find moments of joy and hope so we don't lose our collective minds. Because again, we have a long battle ahead of us. So I don't know why I keep doing this. Anyways, so one thing that does give me a little bit of hope, not a lot of hope, but a little bit of hope, is now everyone is calling Elon. We went from calling him Alania and the First Lady, which just hurt him, to now we are all calling him President Musk. And we are either calling Donald Trump the First Lady or the Vice President, because that's effectively what is going on right here. Like the Vice President's just a powerless figurehead who's there, which is what's happening with Donald Trump. He's just like, yeah, guy, listen to my dad. My dad, I mean Dom Daddy, who fucks me in the ass and whips me and makes me wear a ball gag. I mean, you know that's happening. Like, we were all joking about it, but the second I saw Donald Trump's new haircut, which if you haven't Googled it, pause this and go look at it. It's crazy. It's crazy, and it's obviously such a flex from Elon Musk, and he's trolling Donald Trump so hard, and he convinced him that was such a cool haircut. Like, he was like, babe, you would look really good with a different haircut. And then Donny was like, no, I don't want to. And then he was like, get on your knees, bitch. I'll show you what kind of haircut you need. Like, just, we know. And I'm so sorry I put that image in your head. I'm so sorry I put that image in your head. But, like, we must confront reality on reality storms. Do you know what I mean? But now everyone's calling Elon president because he effectively is, which is terrifying and makes me furious and like, what the fuck? Like, I already didn't want Donald Trump as president. Donald Trump, we already know, did not win in a free and fair election because not one single person has called this a free and fair election, which they did the last 2 times. So, everyone knows some fuck shit's going on. So many ballots weren't counted. Ballot boxes were literally lit on fire. And we have video of people throwing them out in the woods. Okay. So we didn't even vote this guy in. No one wanted this guy in. And now he roped in this fucking tech bro douchebag who's just trolling everyone and just has this huge pissing contest. And now that guy is making calls for like the federal budget. Like, what the fuck? And also, like, apparently Elon's mom has his mom, who was a model, his mother, who lived in apartheid Africa most of her life, is now sitting on high-level transition team meetings that, like, require security clearance. And it's just, like, in the room. And, like, in an interview, she was like, yes, we need to fix the birth rate crisis because my son needs more people to work in his factories. This bitch is just saying that. She's literally just saying the American populace is just cannon fodder for his factories. And we need to force people into pregnancies they don't want so her son can continue to be rich because that's the only way she can be proud of him. What the fuck? What the fuck? And then apparently for the State Department, the interviews for the new appointees for the State Department are being conducted by, drum roll please, Elon Musk's family's office manager, who has, and I quote from the New York Times, not the most reliable resource, but in this case, that is my source, who has, and I quote, absolutely no experience with foreign affairs. Yeah. That's the guy who's picking people for the State Department. And I'm sorry, if you've ever worked in an office, 9 times out of 10, one of the top 5 dumbest people in that office is the office manager. If there's any office managers watching this, I'm not talking about you because you're clearly smart because you're here and also you're a girl and I love you. But I'm sorry, the office manager at my last 3 jobs, all fucking idiots. All stupid idiots who are not good problem solvers. Who would just be like, oh, let me just forward that email to this other department who's actually going to handle this. Do you guys need us to order more pencils? That guy is interviewing heads of state, which is so insulting to them. Like, and we're just also fucked. Like, how did Elon get in charge of everything? Why is his mom sitting in on transition team meetings? Why is his family's office manager, again, this man who is not an elected official, who is not even part of the government yet? Like, some people are like, oh, but Doge, which, again, that name makes me endlessly pissed off that no one, especially Trump, realizes how hard they're being trolled. But, like, people are like, oh, well, he's part of the Doge. But I'm like, that government organization hasn't even been formed yet. It doesn't exist. He is not a part of our government yet. He is just functionally a random billionaire who owns an app and a car company and some rockets. And he's deciding who the heads of state are going to be. Not even him. It would be bad enough if it was him conducting the interviews, but it's his fucking family's office manager. Not even like the Tesla office manager or like the SpaceX office manager. His family's office manager. He is pissing and coming in all of our faces, and we are just fucking taking it. And the Republicans are such little fucking bitch boys. Like, every single Republican congressman is such a little fucking bitch. You guys are all being cucked like little bottom boy bitches. You are being cucked by Elon Musk and you don't give a fuck. And you are so desperate to hold on to your job and power and your reputation. You want Daddy Donny to love you. So you'll do whatever the fuck they say. And when they say jump, you say how high and can I put your cock in my mouth while I do it? It's embarrassing. It is embarrassing. Which brings me to my next segment, the holiday survival guide. How you are going to survive this holiday season with your Trumpy family. Before I get into that, I do have one little point that I was supposed to make earlier, but I got off track. We lost the plot a little bit. Seems to be a pattern lately. The one thing I have hope for is that now that everyone is calling Elon President Musk and Donald Trump the VP or his assistant, which I also love, I am hoping that Donald Trump's ego, which is the most important thing in his whole life, will become fragile enough and hurt enough that he will rebuke and exile Elon Musk. Because no one can be in charge except Daddy Donny. And he's going to have to flex on everyone and be like, no, I am in charge. I'm in charge, you guys. It's me. It's not Elon. And he'll kick Elon's ass out of there. That's the hope I'm holding on to. Which is dark, but it's something. So hopefully if we all start calling him President Musk, which is dark, I recognize how dark that is. That we're all now calling him President Musk, which I get that everyone thinks that's a flex. That's going to make Donald Trump behave and shame him into kicking Elon out. But it also just might solidify this fascist government that is rapidly forming. And I don't like the idea of us manifesting a President Musk. And whatever witches are doing curses on Musk, I'm going to really need you to double down. Maybe do some blood magic. Okay? I love you so much. Make sure you use your protection spells and your wards as well. Okay. All your sigils, all of your talismans, have them all. Stay safe. But like, maybe instead of white candles, we switch to like red and black candles. And if you need some blood, I'm happy to donate it. Okay? Okay. I'm not a witch, so I can't do blood magic because it's the most dangerous form of magic. Anyways, I'm losing people. Okay, let's get back to the point. Holiday survival guide. We all know, after Thanksgiving, we all experienced how fucking insufferable our Trumpy family was. Okay? And now they're going to be flexing on, oh my God, my Tesla stock is worth so much. And your instinct is going to be to yell at them. Your instinct is going to be to say, how can you defend him when this, and this? But I suggest we take a different course of action, right? Because yelling at them doesn't really help. They just tend to double down, not with any information they know or have learned or have researched, but just what they've been told by the oligarchy, by their daddy, Donny. So I recommend some alternative suggestions. For example, calling Donald Trump the vice president. How do you feel about the vice president's tariffs? And they'll be like, what are you talking about? I'll be like, well, Donald Trump's a little bitch boy. And they'll be like, excuse me? And they'll be like, well, he's clearly being cucked by Elon Musk. And I understand that that's not exactly what cucked means, but they don't know what cuck means. They just think they do. And to them, that is the right context in which to use it. And just point out that, like, effectively, Elon Musk did just take all the power from Donny, and Donny just is bending over and taking it. If you can just bring up that Melania was Donald Trump's old Dom, and has now passed the torch on to Elon as often as you can, I do find that would be deeply upsetting to all of your Trump-loving family members. Leave the tariffs out of it. Leave the immigrant concentration camps and the grocery prices out of it. Just focus on the Dom sub dynamic. Because what is the thing that Trumpers really love the most about Donny? That he's a big, strong alpha male. And if you strip that from them, if you make it seem, or really show them the truth that their big, strong, manly man alpha male is actually the biggest bitch in America and probably takes it up the butt on the regular from Elon Musk or gets pegged by Melania, I'm very pro that. I don't kink shame, and I am not homophobic at all, but I'm going to guess that they are quite homophobic and they will have an issue with it. Alternatively, you could go the Tinkerbell approach, as I call it. So what do we all know about Tinkerbell? She dies if she doesn't get enough attention. And I would venture to say the same thing about all MAGA folk. They like to be loud and argue. And I sometimes think the only reason they voted for Trump is because it's the most attention they've ever gotten in their life. Even though it's negative attention, they'll just fucking take it because they just need attention to exist. Like, think about every Trumper you know. Are they not the most attention-hungry, pathetic little bitches you've ever met in your life? Okay? So when they say whatever they have to say about Trump, whether it's, oh my God, look how good the economy is right now, despite the fact that that's just people looting the government because they know Elon Musk is going to abuse a position of power he is not entitled to and has not earned and was not voted into. That's neither here nor there. Don't get into that again because they're dumb. They won't understand the nuances of what you're talking about. But they're going to be like, look at the economy. It's so good. Oh my God, gas prices are about to be so cheap. Oh my God, look at blah, who gives a fuck, right? Instead of engaging, instead of arguing, right? Because you can't argue with an opinion. You can't argue with somebody who's not operating in the realm of fact and reality. And you're just going to exhaust yourself. And then the thing is, you're going to get into a fight and then your mom's going to be pissed off at you because she was like, why would you argue with your Uncle Joe? I understand he's an asshole, but you know how this ends every time. You should know better. And then you're upset and then your inner child's upset because you feel silenced even though you were in the right and you did nothing wrong and he's a bigot and an asshole and an idiot and a fucking the worst. And so you feel totally justified in what you did, and you are. But as my therapist always says, even if you are right, the way you are acting is not getting your needs met. So I offer an alternative. What is the most effective way to kill Tinkerbell? Take away all the attention. You're going to stonewall them. They're going to ask you about Donald Trump stuff. You didn't hear the question. You just say, pass the potatoes to somebody across the fucking room, even if the potatoes aren't fucking next to them, okay? They will say anything about Donald Trump or Kamala Harris or who gives a fuck, okay? You're not listening. You're putting on your quiet coyote earmuffs and you're not listening to a thing they say. And I know it's so hard. It's so hard. You might have to not have any wine because eventually you're going to explode. It is so hard. If you need some meditations, I can link them for you. Guided meditations where it's like someone's talking the whole time so it doesn't feel like forever, okay? I hate meditating, but I found some good ones if you guys want some links. Do not engage. And I don't mean don't engage in like a I'm better than this Zen kind of way. I mean in the pettiest fucking way possible. Because like that's really my favorite way to punish people. It's very effective. Like when someone does me really fucking dirty, I don't scream at them. I just act like they're not there. I don't look at them. I don't talk to them. When they talk directly to me, I don't hear them. When they engage in a conversation that I'm a part of, I don't hear anything they have to say. When there are 3 people in the conversation, I will lock in that third person, hard eye contact, so they can't even look at the fucking person that I'm mad at in the room. There's nothing that will make you feel more helpless and powerless than not being seen or heard, okay? It's amazing. It crushes people. I have watched people fall apart at the seams because I won't acknowledge their existence, and it will make you feel so powerful. You think biting your tongue is going to make you feel angry and helpless and quiet, but if you take it with the attitude not of you're not worth my time or energy, I'm going to be the bigger person. No, you think I'm going to be the smallest person. I'm going to be the fucking pettiest bitch you ever saw, and I'm going to destroy you with my silence. You don't even exist. So that way it's not passive. It's not I'm just being quiet while they get to run their mouth. It's I will crush you with silence. Okay? I will suffocate you with my domineering energy that shows you you're not fucking worth it and you don't deserve a place at this table, sir or ma'am. Okay? Trust me, it is the most empowering thing you will do all holiday season. It is a gift to you, honestly. As somebody who has done this for years, I highly recommend it. Especially men, they don't know how to handle it. You will watch them physically cower because they won't know what to do because it's never happened to them. It's never happened to them. Because women, when we're angry, we always engage. We always fight back. And then they get to do some petty bullshit where they make us feel small, or they get to say nasty shit to us, or then they're just like, oh, this bitch, she's crazy. To just not be seen or heard or acknowledged, and to not be able to penetrate you at all. And if anything, you are pushing all that energy back out through them silently in a way they don't understand but can feel physically, energetically, and spiritually, will suffocate them. It will drive them insane. They might start crying if they're drunk enough, okay? I've seen it do crazy shit to people, okay? And he will be afraid of you. There's no quicker way to make someone terrified of you than that, okay? Men who have treated me like shit, I've done that to them, and they get scared of me. And I don't have to do a goddamn thing. And it feels good. It feels powerful. It feels amazing. It is vindicating, okay? So that is what I recommend. Above all else is to Tinkerbell them. Kill them, choke them, suffocate them with silence. And the thing is, you're not just going to be completely quiet to everybody. I think that's a really important thing. When they enter a conversation, so like let's say it's you, me, and then this MAGA person here. You and me, we're engaging. If we're having a light, fun time, I'm not going to suddenly get angry and dark when this person enters. I'm going to, if anything, get lighter and happier and brighter and just shine and really enjoy this conversation with this person, with you and this person A. I'm going to really enjoy this conversation with person A. And then when MAGA comes in, I'm can just continue to enjoy this. And I will not be fazed by their energy at all. And I will just not look at them, acknowledge them, hear them. Okay? You are not going to shut down. When they come in, when you see them coming in out of the corner of your eye, you get bubblier and bouncier and more fun in the conversation with person A, okay? You are having the time of your life. If you were talking about something negative, you very quickly change topics and just talk about anything fun. Not necessarily about how you're thriving, because that looks obvious, but just like something fun, something you've watched on TV. And then when they join in that conversation, you do not dial it down at all. You don't ramp it up, you don't dial it down. You have the most fun with person A you possibly can. And when they try to interject and say anything, you just ignore them. And you just keep on with your conversation. You don't hear them, you don't see them, and person A will get confused. But you just hold eye contact. They won't know what's going on, but you will be in control of that situation, and they will stay focused on you, okay? I've done this 100,000 times. It always works. And another beautiful thing is, it's like, even if you're like, okay, Ishbel, they're not going to feel silent, suffocated, they're so loud, they're not going to notice. Oh, they'll feel it when they try to tell a joke. When they try to jump in and say something funny or degrading and no one looks at them. Like, nothing feels shittier than we say a joke and it falls completely fucking flat and everyone just kind of gives you a little bit of side eye and then carries on their conversation. Like, if you give them any interaction at all, it needs to be a little bit of side eye of like, oh, that was weird, or like, why are you talking? To just make them feel small and stupid and dumb. Okay? Okay. So that is my holiday survival guide. I hope it's so helpful. I'm sorry it was like a little bit rambly. But yes, the Tinkerbell method. Point out that Donald Trump is wearing a ball gag and a leash and a collar and a butt plug to keep his asshole nice and loose for whenever Elon wants it. And he is Elon's little bitch. Okay? So I think going into the holidays armed with those two things will be incredibly helpful and will make you feel really good. So Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah. I love you so much. I'm wishing you all the best. And if you need anything at all, I'm always here for you. Okay, I will talk to you soon. Bye.